G'day walkers, how you going? Well, hello there, g'day walkers. Happy new 2021, even though today's recording this on the 13th of January. And it's about 5:10 to 5 in the afternoon. I've just spent maybe 2.5 solid days editing this video and putting it together. And if you haven't listened to these commentaries before, this is the YouTube content creator commentary, where I'm looking to verbalize, mainly for the benefit of myself, how I go about putting these videos together. But I'm learning as I go along, and I'm evolving as I go along, and I figured, like right from the beginning when I started recording these videos, I've always been a fan of directors' commentaries and other sorts of commentaries for mainstream movies that you can watch on DVDs, and it always just struck me that this would be a good strategy to push out more content, and that underpins the whole premise of one of my favourite sayings that I picked up some 25 years ago, but applies so well to this medium and this platform. Create something once and sell it many times. So today, with this video, what I wanted to bang on about, and if you'll hear me out and have some patience, I know we're 90 seconds in and I haven't really got to the point, but that's kind of how I roll. But this video, I just wanted to use as a really elite example of how you can put that to work for yourself. Create something once and sell it many times. So create content once and publish it many times. So the short story is that I set out to start creating this video probably Monday morning, the 11th of January 2021, and I only finished editing it this morning. And in all fairness, and being honest and transparent, I actually could have finished it probably this time yesterday, but I decided to wrap up the afternoon early. And it's always good to look at things with fresh eyes and have a good night's sleep and just start again fresh, because you don't want to be forcing yourself to concentrate or being conscious of the fact that you don't have as much energy. Like, I'm a morning person, so it's better for me to do things long before 4 o'clock in a productive way in the afternoon. This footage that we're looking at right now, so this video, just to explain, this video brings together, splices together 3 different days of filming, 3 different occasions, 3 different times a day. But the one thing that it does have as a constant throughout is just walking around. You can see here that I'm actually on court. This is court 3. I'm actually on the court. Also in the grandstands and in the immediate area outside the grandstands. That was always my aim, to stitch this footage together from the different files that I had and create a video that was just showcasing these show courts. And I deliberately went when the weather was like this. This was my I think this was my final. No, this was my second visit back in the morning. I think it's about maybe 8:30 in the morning, possibly, maybe even earlier. But we're very lucky in Melbourne that we have the public has access to these sporting precincts and these places where these huge international sporting events, and this precinct also doubles as a live events precinct for all sorts of concerts. I saw, just to digress for a minute, I saw Eric Clapton perform at this. No, he didn't perform at this venue, but I saw Eric Clapton perform at the Melbourne 1956 Olympics swimming centre, which was still basically a swimming pool with a floor over the floor. Back in when did I turn 21? 86. I've seen the Wiggles. Saw the Wiggles here in 2008. And of course, I've been to the tennis, and then now they've integrated the basketball into the middle weekend of the Australian Open. So, multi-purpose. It's a fantastic precinct. Just when I was growing up, before they built this, it used to be called the National Tennis Centre when it was first opened in 1988. And when the state government of that decade announced that they were going to build on this parkland, Melbourne comes from very conservative stock. So people were horrified back in, was it 83 or 84, when it was announced they were going to build a tennis centre here. But it is nice that it still retains that public accessibility. So why am I on court? I found, and although I travel past the Melbourne Park a minimum 4 times a day on the train, travelling into the city when I'm going to the city. It's one of those places unless you've got a reason to get off and go there, you don't really go there. And I'm not a tennis tragic. I'm a fan of sport. It's the culture of this city. It's in my DNA. But to come down, and I'll just add that I used to walk past in my lunch hour during different jobs that I've had. I used to actually walk from the centre of the city towards Melbourne Park and then back over the Swan Street Bridge and back up to the city, and that takes less than 40 minutes at a decent clip. But you can actually hire the courts, what's left of them, and I'll comment on that later. But there's excellent public access to this area. It's not closed down, locked off in general. And so, except for I won't talk about the security in detail or the area, because I don't want to give away too much, to be honest. But you can see from where I am on the court, you can see that I've managed to get in there. I didn't have to break anything. I didn't have to unlock anything. And I'm sure that I was being monitored by CCTV. But anyway, I'm getting away from the reason why I'm talking, which is so my plan was to go. This is about my second or third visit to film this footage. The plan was to get down there early in the morning. You can see how the sun, when it's out, it was a really nice day. So the plan was just to wander around the court, slowly, deliberately, take my time, just give the viewer that sense of this is what it's like to be on show court 3. Not the biggest court, not one of the biggest show courts, but still, as you can see from the outside. Now, so to comment on this this part of the video, the editing. So what I've discovered and starting to employ pretty much in a routine way is that I'm reversing the footage. So I wanted to give this sense that the footage shot on different days to maintain a sense of continuity for the viewer, as if I'm walking. So what I did was when that footage ended in the tunnel, and I stitched it together with this footage, this footage is reversed. So because the great thing about walking video content is that so long as you manage the audio proficiently, well, I'm not trying to trick the viewer. In fact, I think the reversal of the footage actually adds a interesting dynamic. And make, hopefully, my aim is to keep the continuity, but also just to get the attention of the viewer back if their mind's wandering. Just get them paying attention if their mind has wandered away. Now, I didn't actually walk into that entrance, and I wish I had have, because you can see from the sunlight at that particular time of morning was just fantastic. And also, I didn't really know, or maybe I just never paid attention, but I didn't know there was so much graffiti, street art on the outside of Show Court 3. So that's another reason, if you're a fan of street art, another thing, and that's good. They've dressed up the concrete, so it does look very dynamic and contemporary. And I suppose, tennis is a very attention deficit. When I go to the tennis, I notice people have short attention spans. Like, you go to the cricket, people quite happily sit the whole day in the one spot, or they'll sit for a while and then go away for a couple of hours to the bar or whatever and come back. But tennis fans, I've noticed, they're very transient in the way that they consume their live tennis. That they will go and watch a match for maybe a couple of sets and then they'll take off again. Maybe it's just the adrenaline of trying to see your favourite players in the first 3 or 4 days of a tournament. So this footage is also reversed. So the audio was doctored, so that the voice is silent behind the mask. But I didn't want to have myself too much on camera in this video either. But as I was getting into the editing of this video, I thought, well, why not? That's one of my philosophies when I'm editing is why not? Like, why not put myself in there to get a bit of perspective on, this. I mean, if you're a tennis fan, no doubt you've seen the Australian Open many, many times in coverage, but how many times have you seen the tennis courts like this, empty on a nice day, full access to the court and the stands? Now, this is another day yet again, this particular scene. This was the first night that I went down to film, actually. And I'd already been, by this stage on the first night, I'd already been past Show Court 2, and I was walking from La Trobe Street on the outer west side of Melbourne CBD, catching the tram to Melbourne Park, and then I got the tram to Melbourne Park, and I can't remember what the order was right of this second. So again, we're still in reverse, but the aim was to stitch together all this content that I had, the footage of only the show court, and we're all together now. Another thing that's evolving in my content creation, and here we are going forward again. This is another separate day. One of the other things that's evolving is I've got to change my storytelling technique, and you can tell it's a different day quite easily because the sun is just much different. So I suppose I've really noticed the last 2 to 3 weeks that I've really had to be mindful to make sure that my video content starts off with the best footage available. I suppose you could say that I'm a writer by nature. And, when you're writing, obviously, you've got a story, a beginning, a middle, and an end. I'm fairly obscure in the way that I tell my stories. I like I don't like spoon feeding the audience, but with the video content, you got to feed them what they want straight away. And I'm finding that is not coming naturally, because it's just my nature. I just like building up and building up. But with all the tips that I've come across is, make sure, your first 30 seconds. Well, I'm trying to make sure my first 15 seconds hook, and I'm starting to see a tiny bit of reflection in the stats, that where a lot of videos people were tapping out in the first 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 6, maybe 12 seconds. Now they're sort of hanging around till 25, 38 seconds or 42. On a separate topic, on another channel I've just launched, I'm only launching 47 second micro teaser trailers with a formulated back end, so it's only about 1:13 in total length, and I've got 12 of those coming out every morning at the moment for the next 12 days, and that'll go on for maybe another 30 or 40 days. That's just to build up momentum and get the content out there. So the aim was to just show this area in a way that you would never see it, because I can promise you that in any coverage of this tournament, whether it's mainstream commercial TV or pay TV, you're not going to see the precinct like this, and you're not going to see, even though the coverage goes through the day and into the late afternoon and the evening, and you get all this, Melbourne doesn't stop looking like this when the tennis is on. But do you ever get to see this landscape like this, with this light from these angles? Well, no, you don't. So I feel like I really am pleased with the strategy I've hit on. I mean, the main reason I started, and I think the Australian Open was the first deliberate attempt at integrating walking video content deliberately with sporting and cultural events in Melbourne, and I'm starting to see that reflected in my analytics with the search terms people are using. Now, ostensibly, they're probably, when they tap Australian Open into the YouTube search bar, they're probably looking for some tennis action. They're probably not looking for walking video content based at the Australian Open, but that's fine. The main thing is that it's getting there's some visibility going on and some building of awareness. And you just saw I had to step carefully around the net, just left there like a little 9-year-old kid that would leave their toys out overnight. It couldn't be bothered putting them away, so I don't know who left that there. Now, so speaking of audio, this video is full of sound effects, because the trouble with my camera is that, this is a long dark bit. Didn't proof that very well. So the thing about my camera is there's an inbuilt camera an inbuilt microphone in the camera, and the audio isn't elite level, and that doesn't bother me. I'm all about get the content, film it, edit it, publish it. That's what I'm all about at the moment, because one day, yes, I will be able to afford a better camera, but this one does the job. It wasn't built to do this job, but so the first morning I got down there, you wouldn't want to know, but I was beaten to the court by a family of 3 out bike riding, and I think it was 3 or 4, 4, with 2 kids and parents, and they cycled into the tunnel there at Show Court 3, And I thought they'd sort of come and go because I thought the kids had bored pretty quickly. You wouldn't want to know, but they were there forever. And I was standing in the grandstand huffing and puffing and swearing under my breath and giving them the hurry up mentally, giving them the evil eye. They didn't take the hint. And you wouldn't want to know, but I was all fired up, and I was, I didn't want to lose the light. And you wouldn't want to know, but then this bloke turned up by himself to practice his serve. So I just gave up. I decided to hit the road after that. But before I left, while I was filming at the back of the grandstand, I did catch about 90 seconds of his serving practice by accident. And I didn't want to film him because I didn't want to be explaining myself and asking permission and do you mind if I serve? Like he was there for, like he's probably had to hire the court. He's probably had to, this was just after lockdown finished. And he set up this stand with an iPhone on it and he was recording his serving. So maybe as a YouTube channel about, how to improve your serve, I don't know. But you wouldn't want to know it. But the sound came out, and I knew it while I was recording it, but the sound came out just brilliant. Just brilliant. 90 seconds of serving, plus the birds chirping in the background. So all I did was just create this loop, 38-minute loop of the serving. I doubled it up on itself, so it sounds like people trading shots over the net, and with a bit of huffing and puffing from me in the background, and just the echo of the ball hitting the racket and the back. So, that's just one of those happy accidents, isn't it? And you've got to take advantage of those things and just think on your feet while you're filming. And then I couldn't wait to get editing. I'm really happy with how it turned out. So now we're into the second part of this video. So originally this video started off, it was always going to be show court 2, show court 3, and then my plan was to actually film far more of the practice court than I did, and I never got back there. You can hire these courts, the public can hire these courts any time of the year, from early morning till you can play at night with the lights on, and I always intended to go back. And you can see there's some people on the courts. This is on the 3rd of December, this stuff here. And I always intended to go back, but unfortunately I didn't. Not that I'm too, I haven't beat myself up about it, because the practice courts, then it's not that it's a tennis court is a tennis court is a tennis court, isn't it? It doesn't matter whether it's at the local church or here at Melbourne Park. But I got enough footage that you get the gist. You get the gist of the layout, and but what you don't get is all the practice courts, the tennis, like all these courts are used during the tournament. They're all live ranking tournament courts during the Open, and for qualifying as well. The in December every year, except for not COVID years. The qualifiers are played here as well, but I was shocked when I got down there, and I haven't been to the Open in the last maybe 10 years. I've been going every couple of years on the first day or the second day, because I'm not strictly a tennis fan. It's just nice to go along to something that you're not familiar with. I'm more of a cricket person, I would say, but I was shocked. They've been redeveloping Melbourne Park and the precinct for 2 or 3 years now, and I was really shocked that they've taken away so many courts and making big show courts, more show courts. Like, there only used to be one show court. There used to be Margaret Court Arena, which was pretty much the size. I think it was that size, but it never had a roof. and the roof came in maybe last year or the year before, and it's just I just wish things would. I know things have got to change. I just wish they'd wait until I'm not around anymore before they change so much. But they say they have to do it. Do they really have to do it? Anyway, the Margaret Court Arena was always Show Court 1. Now it's got a roof and it's a proper indoor glass wall arena. Show Court 2 is now the premium outside Show Court. And then we've also done Show Court 3. So I was going to actually lead this video off with sport because the sun is just as good. This particular footage I filmed on a different night yet again when I went down to create the video where I'm basically explaining to camera about the tournament changes, the new start date, the COVID guidelines, and it's just I mean, can you imagine sitting in this? Can you imagine sitting in this court anywhere between? I think I was filming this at maybe this is about 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30. Can you imagine sitting there on a day? You know, anywhere between, you know, the temperature is 32 degrees Celsius to, you know, some nights our weather can get up to 40 degrees, and you're watching two guys, two girls playing elite level tennis. You got a bar just outside the grandstand. You got that quiet hum of the crowd. Look at those views. I mean, you know, if there's one thing, I mean, Melbourne was founded by very smart people. that they saw the mistakes that were made in Sydney. I mean, Sydney just basically grew up out of the bush and just evolved on an as needs basis. But by the time the squatters and the planners got down to Melbourne, they laid it out in a grid. They designated so much of the area around the immediate city permanent parkland. And I'm going to have to stop here because I've got some noise in the background that's just not doing it for me. Hang on. Right, so we're back. I won't waste time explaining where the noise was coming from, but it wasn't the neighbours this time. And I'll just let the video catch up to where I am. But now I've lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so we're extremely lucky that everything, you know, is so close. And now the neighbour's dog's barking, and I can't do anything about that except complain. We're just so lucky that everything, you know, these major sporting precincts within walking distance or a short tram ride from the centre of Melbourne. And the Australian Formula One Grand Prix is another case in point, but I've got videos and commentaries in the works about those, so I won't go into that here. But you know, what I'm trying to do with this video and the way I filmed it, is I'm just trying to give a sense of, you know, forget about the quality of the video, forget about the quality of the audio, forget about the camera technique, and it's a little bit shaky here. But what I'm trying to give you a sense, if you can forget and forgive all the things about this content, you know, that doesn't measure up, you know, to the more successful channels, to the more professional looking channels. You know, I'm trying to give you a sense of what it's like to be at the Australian Open. I'm trying to give you a sense of, you know, if you've never been to Australia before, you've never been to Melbourne, you're a tennis fan, and it's your lifelong dream. And you know, you've watched the Australian Open year after year after year, but you might never have seen this place, you know, presented in this way. So that's the whole aim. That's the whole reason I'm doing it. And driving me, what I realised maybe a little while ago was, you know, I really love showing off Melbourne. And so with the editing here, I'll just quickly say, you know, this footage of me in the stands at this particular point, I just did that deliberately. To break it up a tiny bit, just to try and keep your attention. So whether it does or not, who knows? Maybe you might want to comment and tell me, does it make a difference, or am I just showing off? But whenever somebody comes your home city, London to a brick, guaranteed probably spend the first 2 or 3 days putting that person in your car, driving them around, putting them on a bus, or going with them to show them your favourite restaurant or your favourite sporting event or your favourite place in the city, or as we like to do here, sometimes we'll drive people down the Great Ocean Road to see the 12 Apostles. And that's an underlying context of this content, is that I do love walking about around Melbourne. I know so many places. I think Melbourne is just ripe with opportunity for a content channel like this. And you can see what I've done here is that I've borrowed existing content from another video, and I've left in the title. So it's just a good opportunity, again, taking existing content and putting it in front of hopefully fresh eyes, or reminding people, this is what I've got planned for this channel. It's not just about walking aimlessly around streets in Melbourne. There's purpose, there's strategy, there's commercial intent to keep you coming back. And my goal is to find a content licensing distributor agreement with somebody outside YouTube. That's what I'm building towards.
So if you're a tennis fan,
yes, there's monetization of YouTube that everyone goes for, but I'll just quickly tell you what I found.
So to finish off,
found out about analytics and what it's telling me about YouTube and how it promotes the videos.
There's no way known that
I've got to the stage where I've got a library of nearly 100 videos published to this channel, and my stats have died in the arse in the last between the last 5 and 8 days, and I really don't know why, because I'm not publishing any less. I think I'm hitting all the marks about thumbnails and titles and keywords, so let's forget about all that. So I did a dive into the stats for just one day, picking random 24-hour periods over the last 3 months, and what I discovered, to my absolute shock, was that YouTube only promotes one of my videos once every day over the entire platform, the entire internet. Unless you're looking for it, YouTube is only promoting my videos once a day. So what the hell? How are people supposed to see my content? And so if you take the 60 to 70 videos that are live right now on YouTube, and today, since this time yesterday, only maybe 50 to 65% of those videos were promoted as an impression more than once. So the cynic in me is screaming out ripped off, and I just don't know what to think, because my understanding was that YouTube is always going to be promoting your content, regardless of how often you publish, how long or short your video content is. So that's just something else that just came to me while I was on that topic. But again, so we've been through show court 2 and show court 3. We've been through the practice courts, and my philosophy is, why not tack something on to the end? So this is a micro teaser trailer from the video that was about the tournament changes. So why not assume that the person watching this video hasn't seen this particular slice of content before? Why not put it up there? Why not put up a little explainer? why not put up the logos of where this is coming from? Because what I've noticed from the analytics is, and I suppose it happens to everyone, is that people aren't clicking all the way through. So we've reached the end of this video. I'm the bloke who walks. Thank you for taking the time and the trouble to go on this little commentary journey with me. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now. And any feedback or comments, or if you're a returning viewer, I'd love to know your thoughts if you're a returning viewer. Bye for now. Okay. Yeah, it's me again. So listening back to what I listening back, I realised that I never actually got anywhere near the other part of this commentary, which was explaining why this content is so successful. Is because out of the one session of editing to create one item of content for publishing, I've actually ended up with 7 separate videos out of the same footage. So how can that be? I hear you ask, and I can anyway. So how can that be? I hear you ask. So there's this video, which is show court 3, show court 2 practice courts, and I've split those up into 2 separate videos, one for show court 3, one for show court 2. Both have the practice court footage on it. There is, of course, the audio commentary. So what's that for? Now, in the last 4 to 5 weeks, I've been setting up new YouTube channels with the goal of just slightly aiming for more viewers who are more focused. So the great thing about this walking life is that this life lends itself really easily to being manipulated into other brands. So a couple of maybe just before Christmas, in the middle of December, I set up a new channel called This Australian Open Life. And so the 3 videos that I've created out of this one bit of footage, show court 3, show court 2, the practice courts, today I've uploaded 6 versions of the same content. So can you see what I mean by create something once, sell it many times? Because now I've just increased the possibility that the same footage will be seen by as many as 6 times the audience that it could have originally attracted, with 6 different variations of keywords, 6 different thumbnails. Now, so I will admit to one bit of disclosure, is that in my not haste, but time is getting away. So what I haven't been doing is rejigging the titles of the content to show the branding within the video. So although I've got This Australian Open Life, it still has the footage, still has the titles of This Walking Life. But I figure it's the I just trust that the viewer wants to see the footage. And are people really going to be that offended by accidentally or purposefully discovering that I've got different channels using the same footage? I mean, does a person looking for walking video content necessarily go looking for walking video content in what is ostensibly a tennis content channel? And the great thing about This Australian Open Life, it can be presented also as golf content, because we also have the Australian Open golf tournament here, of course. And it because it's not walking video content by definition, it lends itself to a different filming techniques, different editing techniques. That I can. I'm not a golf or a tennis fan. I must say, I'll watch it, and I don't play golf as often as hardly at all, actually, these days. But who's to say that I can't film a video down at um, oh God, what's our golf course's names? I just can't remember the name of the course, but we've got some really famous sandbelt courses in Melbourne. Now, what's to say that I can't go down and film a walking video? What golf fan who's really familiar with our famous sandbelt courses here in Melbourne, who wouldn't want to see footage down there when the course has just got just filled with hacks, uh, just plying their weekend trade, even if they are members. So, yeah, I just thought it was worth adding an extra few minutes of audio commentary here just to make sure that I underlined that point, that this channel is all about trying to make the footage work as hard as possible. That I'm investing a lot of time. I've been working on this full time since the last couple of days of September 2020, and I've literally been working 5 to 5.5 days a week, sometimes 6, and this is all I'm doing. And I want to make sure that investment of time really pays off, and I feel that it is. I feel that the thing I'm enjoying about YouTube is that I'm seeing my work. I really like creating content, whether it's writing or filming, or even these audio commentaries, the thumbnails. Like it's all a way of expressing yourself. But I like in my early 20s, I started up a paper newsletter, because that's what it was in those days, for the local cricket club, because I didn't have a newsletter. And I used to have more fun putting together the mock up for the newsletter to be photocopied. I actually enjoyed that more than anything. I used to type up the sheets, the reports. I used to type up the match reports for the matches that I had nothing to do with, because some captains and some junior team managers, that wasn't it just wasn't part of their universe to go writing cricket reports, but for a club newsletter. But I used to go down. I used to go to the library and take out um, books on cricket, and I'd go for the more laid back ones with the cartoons and caricatures, and I'd photocopy those. And I had a library of photocopies of cricket cartoons that I ended up using. So I see a parallel to what I'm doing now all the way to back then, and I can see that I'm tapping into something that has been there for a while. So um, I just want to drive that home, that for anyone who's starting out or has been going for a while, or maybe somebody who's thinks that they've heard everything, seen everything, done everything. Well, none of us have, and I just want to throw my 2 cents into the into the ring that is YouTube. And because I'm all about sharing what I know, and I enjoy sharing what I know. Like it's taken me a long time to acquire this knowledge, and I figure, well, what a waste if I just kept it all to myself. So I'm hoping. Well, I'm not really hoping. It's just in my DNA. Like I just want to share what I know. Although I really do these commentaries for my own benefit, but I I I, I would get a real kick out of knowing that somebody thought that this was useful to them, because there's I think the great thing about as I'm learning, like I never wanted to be a YouTuber. I never wanted to be somebody. I'm a pretty private person, and it took me when I started out writing and freelance writing and writing scripts and putting on script readings, and I'm still the same. Like I'm a little bit. I'm not thin-skinned, but I don't like putting myself out there. And YouTube is the ultimate, the ultimate. Um, yeah, but what I am enjoying is the walking video content gives me an opportunity to put stuff out there that's me, but not necessarily my face. I'm not. So I'm giving away. Possibly, I might cut this out. I've given away just maybe a little bit more about myself than I really would normally do. But the main thing I want to give away about myself is that my knowledge is there for your benefit. So the whole reason for recording this audio and letting you inside my way of going about things is that hopefully it's of some benefit to someone. And if it's not, hopefully it's interesting to listen to. And if it's not, I've succeeded in making it interesting to listen to because you're still listening. And I thank you for listening, and I thank you for sharing. It'd be great if you could subscribe. It'd be great if you give me some feedback, positive, negative, shrug of the shoulders. So long as I've managed to keep your attention, that was the aim of the game. I'm the bloke who walks. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
We apologise for any inconvenience caused.